Thank you all. And now it's the time to start the international session. Today is the 1961st day of uninterrupted daily webinar of Ifph. Before beginning the session, let's have a silent prayer. Hello, doctors, friends of homeopathy, and students of homeopathy. Today is the 1961st day of uninterrupted daily webinar of Ifph, and today there is going to be a discussion on superflu and its homeopathic perspective. We do have panel members Dr. M.K. Sahani, Dr. Kathy May Lemon, Dr. Prakash Rao, and Dr. Shaji Varghese Kudiyat. Before beginning the session, let me share what media is saying about superflu.
Here, and it's wreaking havoc across the nation.
It seems like everyone is getting the flu. The Centers for Disease Control report cases spiking.
What we're seeing right now is a very rapid escalation in cases.
So far, 7.5 million cases of the flu have been reported, resulting in 81,000 hospitalizations and 3,100 deaths. New York State just experienced the highest number of flu cases ever recorded in a single week.
It feels like I'm dying.
Symptoms include fever, cough, headaches, runny nose, fatigue, muscle aches, and chills. Those stricken with the superflu are taking to social media, warning everyone just how bad it is.
I've never been this sick. I've never been this sick.
My eyeballs felt like they were actually going to explode.
So that's what media is saying. So on homeopathic perspective, let's hear more from Dr. M.K. Sahani, former chairman, Education Committee, CCRH, New Delhi, and chief moderator of Ifph. Let me welcome Dr. M.K. Sahani for the discussion.
Now I'm okay?
Yeah.
So I will start by slideshow now.
Okay. Now it's visible, sir.
Yeah.
Audible. Okay.
So it is the superflu is spreading, and you have just narrated the intensity and the emergency that is coming up in the near future, or still it has arrived now. So in this basis, I am going to discuss about this organ-based holistic interpretations of the epidemic dynamics. Now, friends, it is important to know that flu is not a new phenomena. It has started, but gradually with the time, with the situations, it gradually get converted into more and more intense. We had the tiger flu, we had the swine flu, we had the birds flu, and now it is the super flu. So, and I don't think that this journey is going to stop today. It will continue for as long as people are in the don't understand the homeopathic way of thinking about the disease. My content, I will try to share views on the conceptual understanding of superflu, mechanism of spreads beyond the pathogens, clinical presentations and individual expressions, and homeopathic concepts of epidemic. Then about the genus epidemic, that is the scientific core of homeopathic epidemic philosophy, and homeopathic management thereafter, lifestyles and hygiene, etc. and discuss. So superflu, as we have just understood, it is a commonly non-technical term that describes rapidly spreading influenza-like illness, which affects large populations within a short period of time. It does not refer to a single virus or a specific medical diagnosis. Rather, it represents the epidemic illness marked by high infective, intense systemic symptoms and significant social and health impact. So unlike ordinary seasonal flu, superflu outbreaks are characterized by sudden onset, quick transmission, repeated waves, and increased severity, often overwhelming individuals, family, and healthcare systems. Such outbreak tends to emerge during the period of climatic transitions. Now, this is very important. When you can see when the epidemic comes, it is during the climatic, just the change of the transitional. So environmental stress is there, weakened immunity is there, and heightened psychological strength comes with within the community. So, from the biological perspective, superflu spreads mainly through the respiratory droplets and close human contacts facilitated by overcrowding, poor ventilation, travel, and reduced resistance. However, exposure alone does not explain why some individuals remain unaffected while others suffer severe illness or complications. This variability highlights the role of host susceptibility and immune resilience. So, from homeopathic viewpoint, superflu is understood not merely as viral invasion, but a dynamic disturbance of the vital force acting upon the susceptible populations. So, epidemic arises with the collective resistance is lowered and allowing the common morbid influence to manifest through the diverse individual symptoms. Thus, superflu uh, reflects a broader imbalance involving environment, mind, immunity, and vitality rather than a pathogen alone. So, in this context, superflu severe as a reminder that epidemic disease are both biological and constitutional events, demanding approach that address not only transmission and suppression, but also individual response, prevention, and restoration of the. So, what is the I'll discuss with the conceptual understanding. It is not a single pathogens I have earlier told, but collective term for epidemic influenza-like illness marked by severity, recurrence, and wide populations involvement. According to a volume 72 of the Organon of Medicine, such illness falls under the acute epidemic disease, rapid derangement of the vital force that run a definite course with appropriate treatment. So importantly, 73 clarifies that epidemic diseases arise from the common cause yet manifest differently in different individuals. This explains why during the same outbreak, some individuals experience mild symptoms while others develop the severe or complicated disease. The biological transmissions from biomedical standpoint, superflu spreads through respiratory droplets, aerosols, and contaminated surfaces. However, volume number 31 provides a deeper insight. External inimical influence do not cause disease. This is very important. Why? Unless the organism is predisposed. Thus, exposure alone does not determine the illness susceptibility. Now, some of the beyond the pathogens, the environment and lifestyle influence are there. Like volume 5 emphasize the importance of environment, occupations, habit, diet, mental states in disease, and causation and cure epidemic frequently coincide. So seasonal transitions are there, overcrowding and poor ventilations are there, and environmental pollutions are there, and disrupt of the routine and sleeping patterns. So these factors collectively lower the vitality of and increases the susceptibility. Psychological and emotional stress are very important because modern research confirms that stress weakens the immunity, and homeopathy recognized this much earlier. According to FOIM number 221, mental and emotional symptoms often becomes prominent in acute disease. And during superflu outbreak, fear, anxiety, confusion, and irritability are not coincidental but integral expressions of the disturbed vital force. So typically the symptoms are their clinical presentations that has been already told. Sudden high fever and chills, severe body and muscles ache, headache and eye pain, cordial sore throat, cough, extreme weakness and prostration mark mental symptoms. Then despite of this common feature, FOIM 83 mandates individual case taking even in epidemic cases. The physician must faithfully record characteristic symptoms, modality, and mental changes as they guide the remedy selections. So, dynamic nature of the epidemics. Now I am discussing about the epidemic natures. Homeopathy view epidemic disease as dynamic derangement that rather than the material entity, as in FORM 81 further explains that epidemic disease rests upon underlying chronic miasmatic influence. This explains variation in severity, post-flu weakness, and relapse and lingering complaints. Thus, superflu is not merely an acute viral event, but reflections of deeper constitutional and miasmatic vulnerability. One of the Hahnemann's most important contribution lies in the FI number 100 and 102, which outlines the method of studying epidemic disease. He advises that physicians should observe multiple cases without theoretical prejudice. This is in 100 FI. Just you have removed, sir. My sharing is removed.
I think it's accidentally got. Yeah, now it's okay.
So in FI number 100, he says, observe multiple cases without theoretical prejudice, derive the collective symptoms totally from severe patient in FRU number 101. And in 102, he says, select a remedy corresponding to the totality. So this remedy, known as the genus epidemicus, represents the characteristics expressions of the particular epidemic case. Importantly, it may change as the epidemics involve. Not every time that you have the same genus epidemic, same medicines for every episodes of the epidemic. In every episodes and every change, like super flu episodes and the swine flu episodes and the common flu, all the episodes are different. That's why we have to find out, every time we have to find out a genus epidemics for that conditions. So now what is the curative approach? In accordance with the file number 3, the treatment aims at restoration of health through the minimum remedy selected based on the totality of symptoms, mental and physical generals, peculiar and characteristic feature. And in rapid progressive cases, FOIM 246 support judicious repetitions of the indicated remedy with careful monitoring. And preventive and prophylactic considerations are also there. While homeopathic does not deny public health measure, it adds preventive measure by strengthening susceptibility. The use of well-established genus epidemics may reduce the incidence or severe outbreak. So this aligns with the FOI number 231, which highlights predispositions as the deciding factors of the illness. Then assessment of recovery and progress. FOI number 253 states that improvement in the mental and emotional health is often the earliest sign of recovery. And clinically, superflu patients frequently show mental clarity, calmness, and improved mood before physical symptoms subside, and important indicators of the correct remedy. So then important things are that we must incorporate, and Hahnemann has emphasized on the lifestyle hygienic conditions like adequate rest and sleep, simple nourishing diet, warm food and hydration, clean monitoring the surroundings and respiratory hygiene, and mental calmness and reassurance. Such measures assist the vital force and complement medical actions. So superflu epidemics reveals the limitations of approach focused solely on pathogens, and homeopathy grounded in the organ offer a broader epidemiological vision, that one that considers susceptibility, environment, mental state, and collective vitality. So in FI 104 reminds the physicians to remain free from prejudice, allowing observations, not fear or routine, to guide the therapeutic discussions. So conclusion is that superflu spreading is a multifactorial phenomena involving biological agents, environmental disturbance, psychological stress, and altered human susceptibility. The organon of medicines provide a comprehensive framework for understanding such epidemic through principles of dynamic disease individualizations and genus epidemicus. By integrating these forms into epidemic management, homeopathy offers a rational, holistic, and human approach to both treatment and prevention. In the era of recurrent influenza-like outbreak, this organ and based perspective remains profoundly very much relevant today. So I think I have concluded my talk, and I hope we can get some clue for the discussions. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. We had a synoptic view on superflu symptoms and its management. And let me welcome the next panel member, Dr. Kathy May Lemon from USA. Ma'am, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, hi. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be able to be here and to be able to present again. It has been a while. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And I hope I click on the right one here. Okay, can you see it? I hope.
Yeah, it's visible.
All right. I want to thank you for inviting me to present about this idea of the superflu. There's a lot to consider when you look at this idea of superflu. I just, you know me, history is a big thing for me to consider. History tells us so much. We in homeopathy must understand where homeopathy has been. Superflu, what a catchy word that is. Kind of like coronavirus. Kind of like COVID-19. Let me say that. COVID-19, COVID. Superflu. Let's find this catchy word. I remember very, very clearly, shortly after I returned from India in early 2020, attending a webinar by the late, great Dr. Robin Murphy. And what he was speculating, what he was presenting about this new coronavirus that was coming out. And he was saying, well, I don't know what they're going to call it. Guess what? The coronavirus is something that has been known since about the 1930s. We've known that coronaviruses will also hit humans. I'll get more into that in just a moment. But in any case, he said they're not going to come out with a name for it until they have something catchy. Well, look what the world knows today. COVID-19. Everybody on this planet knows that term. So this idea of superflu, I'm going to present to you, it boils down to nothing but a game. Yes, we've got to be cautious, we've got to be careful, but at the same time, we've got to be confident with what we have in homeopathy when we're looking at this. We don't need to get scared, but I'll present this to you. Maybe. There we go. I don't like Google. I do as little with Google as I possibly can, but I wanted to know more about what they're calling this superflu. So I've got a place called Brave, and I did a little search on superflu. I'm not going to read this all to you here. You can read it, but just some things. It's a new variant of the influenza A, H3N2. It's antigenically different from the strains used in the current vaccines. There's something scary. Allows it to partially evade prior immunity and increase susceptibility to infection. You look at this, and as been talked about, the rapid spread and more intense symptoms, a surge in hospitalizations and deaths this season, and they like to talk about this subclade K variant. It's the most commonly reported flu virus of the season. It's all linked to more severe flu season. CDC reporting at least 7.5 million illnesses. What was what was shared at the beginning? Guess what? I recognize an American accent. Where am I? That's something that has come from my country of the United States. Okay, fear. Let's make sure people are afraid. But note this here: the virus itself is not inherently more deadly than other H3N2 strains. That's also what they say today too. They're very careful about when they mention a vaccine, not to say that it's going to help prevent anything. They found other words to get around it by saying it's going to lessen its severity. You're not going to have to go to the hospital. They'll try other things to try and save as little as they can. Well, do we really need to know all this to appreciate what we have in homeopathy? Conventional med wants us to understand that we absolutely need to know this, but we in homeopathy need to know and have confidence that we have been working with this idea of the flu for more than 2 centuries, okay? It's only been, and consider this, it's only been in the 21st century, so the past now going on, we're in the 26th year of the 21st century, that vaccines have been pushed to the exclusion of anything else that can and does actually promote immunity. Okay, as recently as 2008, it was a common understanding that no vaccine was ever tested on pregnant women. I remember so clearly looking at flu vaccine after flu vaccine after flu vaccine that they all said that they cannot say there is no data on pregnant women because, well, it's not ethical to put this in a pregnant. Well, what exactly does that word ethical mean today? Today, pregnant women need, quote unquote, not only the flu vaccine, but also something for pertussis. And guess what? There's only one vaccine for that. It's the diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. It's 3 in 1. Okay, and also, our Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is getting into the idea of the MMR vaccine, separating them. Let's separate them. Okay, the flu vaccine was not recommended for children. Even yet today, infants are routinely given this, and the vast majority of people do not even question this. It's just talked about. Nothing has changed. It still has never been tested on pregnant women. It still is unethical to do so, but yet we can give these to pregnant women now because they need them to be healthy. Tell me this makes any sense. Tell me this makes any sense. Now, I would ask, how should a homeopath understand this idea of immunity, the immune system? But that will be another subject I will address another time in much more detail. For here, let's focus on what we need. Again, shortly after I got back from India, they were talking more and more about this coronavirus. So what I did was I said, let me look into this so I can know more specific about the coronavirus. I found this, and by the way, WebMD we're very familiar with. It can be very, very good when you're looking up conventional things. However, the page where I found this doesn't even exist anymore. You can pull that up, but it's not going to pull up this information. It talks about how common the coronavirus is, how most children are going to get it. And of course, pay attention to the very end because they have to talk about how deadly it can be. But it's a very, very mild thing. It's not there anymore. 30%, up to 30% of the common cold is caused by what? A coronavirus. Now, I'm not going to get into, because of time, I don't have time to get into this. There is very little I need to say among all of you here, because we all know this. I'm preaching to the choir, I like to say. We must all see and understand that there is a definite connection here, though. Diseases, strangely, it was the year of 2021, where suddenly there was a plummet to almost no cases of the flu even being reported. Gee, but yet they're back. It's back strong. And oh my goodness, we have the super flu today. It is a game. As I've said, it is a game. They want us to be afraid. Again, that video clip played at the beginning. They want us to be afraid. Fear will make us do anything. Fear makes us very, very manipulative. We have to be confident with what we have in homeopathy. Homeopathic medicines remain constant. How can homeopathy help with this? First and foremost, we need to know that the flu vaccine is not effective. I just pulled it up again just yesterday. Again, at best, it might be 40% effective. Yeah, homeopathy does a lot more better than that as far as prophylaxis. And it's very, very good that a growing number of people are finally realizing this today. The biggest, most widely used vaccine until the coronavirus. Most widely used vaccines have been the ones, the Tdap, the diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis one, and the flu. Okay, they want to have that sold. They want to have it sold. We in homeopathy must know the law of similars. If the symptoms are similar, the same homeopathic medicine will be just as effective. Guess what? That is a massive advantage we have in homeopathy over every conventional approach for it. Flu symptoms, generally speaking, do not change, regardless of the strain or anything. Symptoms, as has been discussed, they include fever, pain, cough. There's so many of them. This super flu additionally adds to this a rapid onset, fast spread. Why this? I will present, it ties right in. the immune systems of millions on this whole planet have been compromised. So that's what's happening. Now, remedies. There are so many remedies that have long been known to be effective to treat and prevent influenza-like symptoms. Okay, these include oscillococcinum, influenzinum, arsenicum, many others that have been shared, but I will also share with you this chart here. And I'm sorry it's not as clear. You're welcome to copy it if you'd like. This has been put together just sharing flu remedies according to symptom and ones to use. This is something that we in homeopathy need to be familiar with when it comes to the flu. We have to know this individual symptom picture. Okay. Now, I don't think that this flu season that we're in the middle of right now is any worse than any other. When you look at the numbers for what they actually are, forget the people, oh, I've never felt this bad. Well, you know what? I've had many sicknesses where I've never felt that bad. When you're sick, you feel like crumbs. You feel like crap. You don't feel good when you're sick. Okay. And don't expect that you're going to. The immune system have been compromised. So we need to know this. This is what we've got to understand in homeopathy. Along with this, I came across this quote just the other day by the great homeopathic prescriber, Adolf Lippe, okay, to administer a remedy to the sick because another sick person having the same or very similar physical signs had been cured by it would be unscientific, illogical, unhomeopathic, and very hazardous. To base our therapeutics upon such physiological observations would be a return to generalization. We would not then take into consideration these striking, singular, extraordinary, and peculiar symptoms, strange, rare, and peculiar, there you go, which Hahnemann tells us we should be almost exclusively attentive to. And that's another thing I came across just the other day. Conventional medicine trying to tell us you don't have to pay attention to all these little things. No, you do have to pay attention to all these little things, but don't use this idea of similars. That is fundamental to what we know and have more than 2 centuries of practice with in homeopathy. It works. This idea of annual flu deaths, and this is another thing to bear in mind too, that really doesn't have any bearance because the flu itself does not generally kill. What happens is it gets complicated into pneumonia. Pneumonia can be very deadly, but with that being said, homeopathy has a remarkable track record of treating and curing those diagnosed with flu. Okay, but this is something we've just got to smile about because we have so much in homeopathy. The numbers are not rising. Okay, they just want us to be afraid and feel that they are. So here are some very common effective non-homeopathic things we can use for flu prevention. Vitamin D3, which comes from the sun. Okay, in wintertime, the sun can be higher, can be not coming as directly on us. So the sunlight is the best source of vitamin C, but in the wintertime when it's not there as much, it's best to supplement this. Okay, flu season generally runs from October through March. Full food vitamin C, the human body does not naturally produce vitamin C. So it's best to find a full food, not just the ascorbic acid, but something made of the full foods. Or a full food, citrus fruit, tomatoes, things like that are wonderful sources of the vitamin C. Animal-based omega-3s, not the flaxseed. Flaxseed omega-3s are good and have their place, but it's the animal-based, like the fish-based omega-3s that are so good for flu season. Oregano, garlic, these are good immune boosters. Get sufficient rest. Lower the stress levels, okay? Washing hands, keep yourselves clean. This has all been addressed too. Okay, and remember this has been said thousands of years ago by Socrates himself. Woe to the doctor who cures the body without caring for the mind. Since that is where it all comes from. Okay, we've got to, it all fits together, physical, emotional, mental, it all fits together. When we are feeling better, as has just been addressed, when we are feeling better, we can smile. Okay, we may not be physically all there yet, but we are going to be. Remember, it comes from the mind. And when you have people scared, you can get them to do anything. Okay, so in short, as homeopaths, we must always understand that homeopathic medicine will work, okay? Basically understand, it's my opinion, this idea of superflu. I will not be surprised if they're working to have some sort of a variant that they're going to call superflu so that they can have a label for it. Why do they have labels? Well, two reasons, as I've addressed before. One, to bill insurance. Two, to prescribe a medicine. Okay, we need to know that we have so much in homeopathy. We have so much in homeopathy. We need to know the consistent flu, the flu-like symptoms, okay? We need to understand. Oh, I'm sorry. Whoops. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Okay, know the homeopathic approach to treat pneumonia symptoms. Okay, again, homeopathy has a tremendous track record of successfully treating pneumonia. Be prepared for that. Know that the corona vaccine has compromised immune systems worldwide. And we need to be familiar with what homeopathic medicines are available that will help with these symptoms that are becoming quite common. Remember what Lippa said, don't treat the same, what looks like the same symptoms, okay? Treat the individual. Have that be first and foremost. And help encourage your clients with all this, your clients, your patients, to cherish their health, not to be afraid. Yes, you've got to take illness seriously. You've got to do that, but don't be afraid. Be confident in homeopathic medicines and natural approaches, okay, to focus on wellness. Not have a fear of illness, have a disposition, do not like illness, but do what you need to do, patients, clients, do what you need to do to keep yourself away from the illness. And if you come down with it, have homeopathy see you safely through this, because we all know that homeopathy will. So here, finally, my last slide. Thank you very much for the opportunity that I've had to share this with you.
Thank you, Doctor. Excellent presentation. Thank you. And
you're welcome.
Next, let's welcome Dr. Shaji Varghese Kudiyat, Vice President of Ifph. Doctor, please. You can unmute, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Bindiraj, and all those listeners joined from around the world. So we are discussing about the superflu spreading and its homeopathic perspective. If you ask me one sentence reply or statement on this topic, my answer is homeopathy is the best, most modern, and the safest natural and holistic system of medicine for the superflu. And why I am courageous to make that statement is because homeopathy is one of the best things which are capable of optimizing our own system, our own immune system, to protect our body from anything inimical to our system. So when we take homeopathic preventive or prophylaxis properly chosen, either based on etiological factors or because of the most indicated medicine as genus epidemicus, what it do is, it is optimizing the energy that control our physical functions, whereby preventing the energy of the pathological microorganisms through its DNA or RNA, preventing, influencing, and deteriorating or distracting the purity of our vital force. So even the microorganisms, even though it is said to be a microbe or a small element or small microbe, it has a DNA or RNA, it is represented by the energy that living organism or living minute microbe hold. So that energy is superposing with our vital force or influencing our vital force and creating a derangement when our vital force become weaker, whereby influencing our immunity and allowing that microbe to manifest in our system, its deficiencies or pathological state through its energy. So it is not just a physical thing, it is an energy thing also in any infection. So remember that. So homeopathy is the most important available medicine in the world where our medicines are capable of going beyond the physical plane to influence the dynamic components of our existence, and that is the scope of homeopathy that we need to become aware of first, so that we can make our fellow human beings and the leaders of our world aware about it, so that the scope of homeopathy become the number one medicine in the coming era. So it is our duty and responsibility. We don't just look at the way the present narrative by the WHO and the pharma companies are putting forward in a different manner, making it as a microbial or thing. It is still an energy thing. So that makes our approach more significant, reasonable, scientific, and the most modern in the near future. But it is our duty to work for it. So the things I wish to say, so all the speakers, you came to know what is super flu and its a common symptoms, its a severity, and its a complications, and the remedies are in brief. So I will be speaking on scope of homeopathy, which I already initiated, then challenges, what we face in making homeopathic perspective useful internationally, as we as an international organization discuss this matter. And also, we need to understand the most important approach that we need to take in the treatment also, other than preventive. So that will be, so the scope of homeopathy is in optimizing, instead of killing the microorganisms, optimizing our immune system using our energy medicines through either based on uncommon etiological factors or through symptom similarity, totality of symptoms of the expression of the disease. And the most important advantages of such an approach is our prophylaxis will be good, anything inimical to our system, whereas the vaccines, they will bring out on the way, surprising to us, is only to protect from one microorganism. If any mutation happen, that become ineffective. But our protection will be anything against our system in that location, in that locality for that period of time. It may change as the period or the climate changes, and it may change from place to place also, that we need to prescribe after studying the etiology and the symptoms of manifestation in that locality. And the challenges include legal challenges, because the present controllers of the world controlled the regulating the medical industry under their control by creating laws whereby alternative or other systems of medicines are unable to interfere in the prevention and treatment. It is already applied in Kerala, and they have already created such a scenario around the world that we need to overcome collectively. So awareness about the usefulness of our system of medicine is very important. Each and everyone participating in this discussion from different parts of the world have very important responsibility in creating such awareness in their own locations wherever they are present. Especially Dr. Kathy May Lemon has a very important responsibility, as a lot of changes in the health industry and health scenario are happening in America, which control and lead the world today. And there are a lot of good changes are happening. This is a right time for us to begin with America itself. So I appreciate Dr. Kathy May involved much in helping creating a momentum by unifying all supporters of homeopathy in that area, and all support of IAPH will be there in making that happen. So it is a good time. We need to begin and make a lot of things happen. So So our then legal challenges, we need to modify the laws. Then hindrance from WHO. WHO is controlled by the pharma and the corporates. So we need to understand that. We need to understand our people around the world and the leaders. Many of them are aware now who is representing or who WHO represents. So that we need to make aware among the population also. So then the lack of international availability of homeopathy is another drawback, which we need to publicize and promote and make everything possible to make it available. As the people look for it, when there is no other safest option, it will automatically happen the way it happened for arsenic album in the COVID-19 era. Then the another thing is, most of the complications happen when suppression of fever happens. This is the most important thing I wish to tell, what we need to do and create awareness about homeopathy becoming the most important scope of prevention and treatment of any infection, not just viral infection or super flu. And the number one thing we need to take care is stop suppressing the fever, which is an important protective mechanism to prevent the toxic chemical reaction between the microbes and the toxins released by the microorganisms in our system. Because every system, every chemical reaction has an optimal temperature, and the optimal temperature of every biochemical reaction in a human being is the 37 degrees centigrade or 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. That's why our body automatically maintains that. That is a wisdom of our body. So when there is toxicity due to decrease in immunity and the enemies of our system become upper hand, the body detects that, and in order to prevent that chemical reaction, it alters the temperature by increasing the metabolic rate and creating fever. So we take fever as a problem is the biggest mistake happening. Fever is to protect this wrong chemical reaction. So we should maintain the fever till our own system detoxify and remove the toxins, and our immunities automatically get elevated and get ready to protect us. So never suppress fever during any infection. Allow the fever to sustain. When we allow fever to sustain, we need to take care of two things. One is the water will automatically evaporate from the body, and a big quantity of our body is made of water. So we should provide enough water. We should never be dehydrated. We should drink and provide a proper water supply to the patient. Very important. Second thing, and if there is any vomiting or diarrhea that prevent the patient to retain the water in the body, we should give IV fluids. Very important thing. Then second thing, in order to maintain fever, we should provide proper nutrition also in easily absorbable form. And the most common thing is glucose dissolved in water, or cane sugar or sucrose dissolved in water that contains glucose also, or any fruit juices diluted maximum. And along with the rice soup with a little salt, that will give additional minerals and everything needed, along with the pure water also. Pure means mineral water. All these will supplement. Don't give sugar alone. You need to alternate everything step by step, so that the increased sugar will not happen, and everything will be provided for minimum sustenance of the life. So, and take rest, and we can wipe the body with the normal temperature dipped and squeezed towel, so that the fever, high fever will not be existing, and there should be little control of the fever in a natural manner. So this is very important. The fever should be maintained, and the two things to take care of: water, dehydration, and nutrition supply. And one more thing we are fearful about fever maintenance is fits among children, even occasionally with adults. And my observations identified that those fits are fever fits. Febrile fits are happening in those children and individuals who have a quick temperament, where they utilize their energy very fastly. So some of them will not be able to retain their energy resources to maintain the fever for longer period of time. So what will happen? In order to maintain the fever, to prevent the toxic chemical reaction, the next protective step is to maintain the heat. The body will constrict, so we're creating muscle spasm, and that muscle spasm is considered as fits among us. So the number one solution for that is give nutrition immediately. You either put IV with the 5% dextrose, or dissolve sucrose or glucose in water and give it to that person or child. Very important, take note of it. And so suppression of fever, febrile fits, such things are happen. And if you can prevent suppression of fever leading to pneumonia, can be protected and prevented also. Most of the time, the pneumonia appear as a complication. Sorry, my time is over. So I am stopping here with. So these are the important things I wish to share. One more speaker is there. And also as a natural protection, there is this propaganda now happening is a panic creation. There are people working for depopulation agenda. They are working for creating panic among the society by media publicity. So these viruses and epidemics happen in different parts of the world, but they are creating panic. So there will be an agenda behind it also. Take care of that. Protect ourselves from unnecessary fear and also sudden change of temperature. That also can decrease immunity. I'm not getting into that. It's also important, but I'm not getting into due to lack of time. After finishing the other speaker, if there is little time left, I wish to come back to make that statement also. Thank you very much for nice listening. Let us have a collective, united effort for bringing homeopathy to meet the challenges of the coming super flu. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. And now, Dr. Prakash Rao is not able to join. In the initial time, he was there, but due to some technical reasons, I think he's unable to join. Let me welcome Dr. Beatrix Dessner from Germany to comment about this, please.
Yes, thank you very much, my dear friends and colleagues. Very interesting today the topic. I can tell you at the moment here in Germany we don't talk about super flu. No activity here. We had a normal flu in the past 2 months, and what I feel it's very. First, I totally agree with you, Dr. Shaji. Don't suppress the fever. That will be very, very important. As we also have here in Germany that fashion with the naturopathic doctors, he put some cold sheets around the feet, and this is working very well. But we also have to be aware, if it's more effective, more quickly, and more strong, we have to adapt our potencies. That's what I would share with you. We have perhaps to give more higher potencies and in quicker repetition. That could be helpful, and we have to try to treat right in the beginning of the symptoms, just to treat in the beginning. And so I think we could be confident, and also I agree very much, Dr. Shaji, it could be a chance for us as homeopathic colleagues worldwide to show our possibilities in treating flus. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. Now let me welcome Dr.
Okay, my own personal views. Number one, I did a couple of webinars in the last 3 years about the ineffectiveness of COVID vaccine. I didn't take even a single shot. I'm in USA. In the last 30 years, I didn't take even once a flu shot. Am I against all type of vaccines? No. So I don't want to get into an argument. I'm not against all vaccines, but these two vaccines, they are not going to protect. They are not going to prevent. Because this virus, they keep on mutating. That is the very same reason they have not come out with a vaccine against HIV, AIDS. That one is more than 45 years. No vaccine for AIDS. Why? Again, rapidly mutating. And if you make a vaccine, you won't get that much of a market. The whole world, how many people they contract HIV? Whereas a flu, yes, very good market. So money. So the bottom line is money. When there is money, then to make money, all sorts of ads. The pharma industry, they have trillions of dollars at their disposal. And somebody said that is true. The WHO also gets funding. Partially, they get funding from the pharma industry. The moment some organization gets the funding from a pharma industry, you cannot expect them to be 100% impartial. Doctors, again, they are all human beings. They are not saints. Most of the doctors are also money. It doesn't matter whether it is allopathy, homeopathy, Ayurveda. They're all human beings. So that is what is happening. And right now, the data, the latest, whatever they showed, 15 million, not 8 million. Yesterday, day for report is 15 million people contracted flu and 7,400 deaths, mostly children and senior citizens. So that is what I wanted to say. And I usually tell people just to take a rest and wait for a couple of days. The adequate hydration. Even if you are not feeling thirsty, people may not be feeling thirsty. Drink more fluids, and especially if possible, just in America, many people, they drink from the refrigerator, cold. No, that is not good. Room temperature or lukewarm. And enough nutrition, some biscuits or bread or rice soup. That is what I recommend. So that's all what I wanted to share. I'm not against all vaccines. I make myself clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. And next is Dr. Marian Salcedo from...
I think Dr. Krupp has raised hand also.
Sorry?
Dr. Krupp.
Dr. Kurup, Sridhar Kurup.
Yeah, he has raised hand.
First of all, welcome Dr. Marian itself, sir. Soon we will...
Thanks so much, Dr. Dingraji. And thanks to all the conferences today. Thanks to bring to our awareness all that kind of things like what is the COVID virus, why how we have to fight with that. And as Dr. Shajiji told us, it's not just a physical change. We have to, as homeopathic doctors, we have to look always for that vital force and balance to try to get to the balance with homeopathic remedies. According to the last participant, I totally agree that we don't need to take vaccines. We don't have to advise to take vaccines to all patients. And of course, always we have the best medicine in our hands, that is homeopathic remedies. So thank you to Ifph and all the organizer team, because always you are bringing the last information to be aware and to take care for our patients and ourselves. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Doctor. Let me welcome Dr. T. N. Sridhar Kurup. Sir, please.
Yes, we conducted in Central Research Institute under CCRH in the year 2010. There was a study about more than 2,500 people during the period of influenza and influenza-like diseases. Then within that, we went to 60 persons case fully, took very details, and then we got arsenic card. We gave it as an arsenic card to 30, but it was 95% it was effective. We don't know what is the reason. 5% people they got flu. So it is homeopathy. We can have preventive also. Few more because it is a study that we sent it to head office and CCRH headquarters. It is still there in some of their journals. Then another thing is Amina Sadaiva 20 to 30 drops it can prevent. Another is already somebody told that influenzinum 200, that also can prevent. And like that of euprasia, dulcamara, restox, such gercemium, etc. can also give. I am not going to very detailed because it is already 9:30. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Doctor. So it's time to conclude, and let me welcome Dr. Dhanesh Jaysimhan. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Binduraj, and those who are attending the session. And it was really a very good discussion on breadfruit spreading and why this is happening and how homeopathy can manage it. Everybody has pointed out a different point of view here, but everything establishes that we need homeopathic mode of treatment everywhere. The reason why so much of fruit spreading is happening in USA, it is because they don't have any other source of treatment. They always relies upon this particular so-called modern medicine. But actually, it is very, very old system. That's what we must say. The pure system and the best system among the world is homeopathic system. And it is high time from the USA and other people, other part of the world, that a person like our Modi or somebody on the caliber of that who can do such wonders, because we have eye system here. And because of this eye system, we were able to protect the life of human beings in a better way. If we look at the COVID case and the other cases, we can see that people in most of the part of India, except Kerala, have took less vaccines, and the number of death and number of infections were very less comparatively that what happened in Kerala, because we have very high educational quality among the people, and because of that, people were having more fearful, and they are taking a lot of vaccine as predicted by the government, and they without thinking about what act, whether it is a vaccine or not. The same thing is happening in USA. The people are taking the so-called flu vaccine every time. Actually, that really reduces the natural resistance of the person, and because of that, they are getting a very high infection. And even as everybody know that there is no treatment for viral diseases in allopathic system, but still the people are using that system from the very beginning, and that is the reason why it destroy the so-called resistance of the persons are being destructed, and as a result, the person get the person's immune system is totally damaged, and that is the reason why the so-called 7,000 more than 7,000 death in a single simple fever. That is so-called flu. But in our part, the death rate in flu is very, very less, because people used to run to ice system people as a better treatment. Or people choose ice system as better treatment. Anyway, I am thankful to first our Dr. Sahani sir. Sir has talked in a beautiful way about the possibilities and how what are the things Dr. Hanneman explained and how we can manage those cases. And the second part, Dr. Mariam, Dr. Kathy Lehman has beautifully narrated the situation in USA and why what are the relevant and importance of this vaccination, how the vaccination damages the health of the person and everything. And thereafter, Dr. Shaji could have given a beautiful description of chances of homeopathy and how homeopathy works, and how we need to treat fever in a simple way, just like anything. And we know that everybody, all this person has, if we give 1 hour's time, they can present more about this thing. Of course, we can arrange such sessions. And thereafter, thank you, Dr. Beatrice, for coming over here and sharing your thoughts. And Dr. Marian Salcedo, Dr. Sridhar Kursar also came up with the research work done by CCRH. Of course, we all know that the CCRH has done a wonderful research in COVID, and we have proven that arsenic amalgam the best choose a remedy, best prophylaxis for that particular disorder, the so-called disorder, and we have excellent result with us. Unfortunately, the world were not aware about these things, and that's the reason why such things happen. Anyway, once again, thanking all the participants who attend the session in this evening from different part of the world, and an excellent moderation from Dr. Binduraj. As you all know, he has come up with what is the spread flu and what is the news according what the people are discussing in and around the world with the video. Congratulations and to all the participants as well as the participants also. Thank you, doctors and homeopathic lovers, particularly our Abdul Salam sir and all people from other part. It was our secretary, Mr. Kiran Chand, who was instrumental in asking for such a session, and we were very happy to have such proposal coming from homeopathy lovers to present this forum. Thank you all. Thank you all to Dr. Binduraj.
Thank you, Doctor. We need to conclude with more relevant topics and more. We will meet again tomorrow. Or to Malayalam. Dr. Mariamma John, please.
നന്ദി ബിന്ദുരാജ് ഡോക്ടറെ. എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം.